If I didn't have any money, they could send me to school, they could do these things. But it really created, it's almost like you've got to leave your job in order to get help.
So you fell through the cracks in a sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's where looking at this, and then looking at, I'm aware right now, you brought up this out of the bottom line. Given our economy today, funding is gone for all practical purposes.
Yeah.
Right now, for the funding of the senior housing, we're having to sell tax credits. Well, because of the banking situation, banks don't need any more tax breaks. They're already losing enough money.
True.
So the folks who are interested in buying the tax credits are folks like Microsoft. But Microsoft's looking and saying, okay, we'll give you 80 cents on the dollar. Where for the banks, because they're required by the banking regulations to invest in the community, they were willing to pay $1.05 on the dollar because it provided a lot of needs for them and gave them the tax breaks. So having to look at the funding issues for churches. When folks are going through economic tough times, they don't have the money to give.
Yeah.
And so having an income stream over and above that stabilizes a congregation so they can be able to deal with not just their own needs, but the needs of the community and provide a more consistent level of services.
Well, I think that gets back to what you said earlier, that when nonprofits do in fact provide social services, they do provide them, but they tend to be spotty. When you look at a business, even one as big as Microsoft, you expect a certain level of efficiency.
Microsoft might not be a good
Yeah,
example
true.
of that.
True. But in general,
Yes.
the ideal of the free market, the ideal of free enterprise, is that it responds to your needs, it meets those needs in an efficient and effective manner. So we're looking at efficiency and proficiency.
Right.
And the problem is that nonprofits tend to go the other way. They have often been slow and sometimes not very effective. So what business people do is go to nonprofits and say, we will help you with our business skills to help you achieve your goals.
Right.
And yet keep your mission focused on the goal itself instead of the profit margin.
Exactly. The banks are a good example before the trouble with the mortgages and the subprime loans. The banks wanted to invest in their communities for several reasons. One, it helped cut the crime rate. If they improved the situation. Two, if they were investing in mortgages and it was a safe neighborhood, if the people were taking pride in their lots, then the property values went up. And so the bank benefited from that. So the for-profits do want to be involved, but they're having more difficulty seeing where their money's not being wasted.
Well, I think at this point then, we can identify banks as the original social entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Banks, after all, as many of our viewers may know, Muhammad Yunus, he invented the microcredit model. Banks invented credit.
Yes.
And, of course, historically, banks have required collateral to get credit. But banks have a mission of going to people, especially those who are destitute and need of money, giving them credit and helping them get off their feet and start businesses of their own.
And this way, I think when right now I'm listening to Sachs's book, Commonwealth, and
Jeffrey Sachs, right?
Jeffrey
Yes.
Sachs, yes. One of the points he makes is we've got to start partnering.
That's what a Commonwealth is, after all.
Exactly. And if we don't partner, in the case of the church, the church did not have the skills to run an affordable senior housing facility, did not have the skills to raise the money. This is about a $24 million project.
So sizable.
It's a sizable project.
Yes.
So, although in the development scheme of things, they tell me it's a very small project.
Yes.
it's not over 100 million, so they're not. But when you start talking about a congregation of about 30, 40 people who are, none of them are trained in management other than their blind minister, where do you go to find that money? How do you do it? How do you plan to run a 94-unit affordable senior housing project? So going out and reaching out and forming a partnership, and now reaching into the business community to help fund it so that it becomes an advantage. What we found as we interviewed in the Astoria area is affordable senior housing is the number one need. It's amazing to me. Right now, it'll be 3 years minimum before this project opens. We already have a waiting list of more than twice the number of spaces available. And we haven't even opened the process for applying for the house.
There's a great demand, obviously.
So, we hit the right demand from a business side. If I was looking at a for-profit business, I would say we found a great need and we would really be in great shape. So, for the community, it becomes an advantage. It also becomes an advantage, you were mentioning the triple bottom line, this will be a green facility. Part of it's because the city of New York and the state of New York now require that buildings be built 20% beyond the efficiency models of today. So they're demanding green. It will have a green roof on it. It will have all
As this picture shows, trees
growing on the roof.
Yes. It's very interesting. In fact, we have an environmental architect coming to speak at the club in about a week.
Okay.
And he'll be talking about this exact project. He has a company that does environmental engineering for buildings, make sure that the environment and the buildings are mutually compatible.
And
It's a growth industry, in a sense.
it's a very strong growth industry, and there are, it's called LEED certified. It's a certification level where you make sure there are folks in there checking all the time to make sure that anything that's thrown out is done correctly, that all the materials are top quality. And this has not really been done in any kind of affordable government